Me, I'll see it and I'll talk about it, right? I'll see it and talk about it. Because for far too long, we've seen it and not spoken about it. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about where we're supposed to be and where we are now. That distance. That barrier, that bridge, that stumbling block, should I say. A bridge could be a connector, but it could also be a divider in a way. Bridges built to make us feel like we are divided, to make us feel apart, to make us feel we are in groups. Okay, of course, in every big group there are smaller groups within, but then those smaller groups need to understand that collectively also coming together, they are that one big group. But we are built to understand groups in terms of I'm a small group, this is my zone, I'm a small group, this is my zone, while you have to be loyal to your group. The essence of that group is to come together with other groups to achieve the main goal collectively as one strong, loyal, peaceful, loving force. There's a lot more I could have added to it, but I would have gone on and on, because we have everything that we have here. We have everything that we need here. People don't see it, right? And it's so sad we don't see it. It's so sad some of us are trying to say, this is what it is there. Can you not see it? And you tell me, no, you can't see it. Until you can see it, you will believe it. But guess what? Sometimes believing when you've only seen, or seeing before you believe, is kind of too late. You don't want to be late. You've been late for everything else. You've been late for what? Everything else. I could start mentioning, but I don't want to promote anyone's brand, right? The brand you're promoting right now is the brand of peace, of which you've already promoted. The next thing you gotta promote is the brand of development, right? We need to develop. Development now and innovation is no more a luxury, it is a necessity. But then we have still yet to understand that reality, unfortunately. We are still yet to understand that's the true reality. And I think we need to start thinking out of the box. We have for far too long been thinking in this box, right? Sometimes I think that I'm thinking too much. Hey man, this is not supposed to be there, it's rubbish. Why is it there? Why are you throwing it in the gutter? People will still do it, right? When you go to different continents, developed continents, right, or countries, you rarely see these things happening, especially in the urban areas. I want to believe that even hardly in a rural area. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not saying you're not bad nuts. There will be bad nuts, but definitely those bad nuts, will be deterred to spread this bad news that they have. That when you have rubbish, drop it in the gutter over there, because the system is working. The system is working over there to protect the people. Although it's taken from them, it's protecting them also. Guess what? Here it's taken from us, it's not protecting us. That is the sad reality of things. Right now I'm speaking, not hitting the nail on the head, because when I start hitting the nail on the head, I'm afraid the ants to start coming out of their homes, right? And it to be a too easy bait, because I'm waiting for that moment to come, right? When the ants start coming out of their homes and I'm knocking the ground, it's be a too easy bait. They're gonna just come outside. I wanna snipe at them. Headshots, right? Peaceful headshots, intellectual headshots, right? Headshots of facts, factual headshots. We have all the resources, we have all the opportunities, we have all the minerals, or we have all the raw material that we need to become a great nation, to become a great people, and yet we are the worst of the worst of races, of race, as has been coined by people, right? Different races. We are all running a different race. The race of the white man, the race of the black man, the race of the Asian man. It is absurd that people are not realizing that every other thing that they are doing, yes, of course, is important temporarily, while the most important thing, in order to make this picture complete, is what we are so oblivious of. Everybody waiting for somebody to do something until nobody does nothing. Right? There's a quote like that. I've forgotten how it's said. So this is the moment as African youth to start to think outside the box, right? We need to start looking at opportunities that surround us. We need to start helping those who have ideas, pushing them, right? Not just in terms of finances, but also in terms of ideas. Support them, be their first customer, help them to make their product better, help them to make their business blow, right? While in fact most of the businesses that are being created around us are not businesses that are going to take us forward as a country or save us in any time of drought. What is the government's preparation to feed these people when drought happens? Have you thought about that question? When the world goes into chaos all of a sudden, what was the government doing? What kind of preparation was it making? Well, cash reserves. Okay, we're gonna eat the cash, right? That's what we're gonna consume. We're gonna put the cash on fire, add some tomatoes and pepper, and then eat the cash. We need real stuff on the ground. We need food. Where are the silos for the reserves? Can the reserves feed 50 million people, 100 million people? Can it? For the next, 4 years? Are they working on technology that can make that happen? These are questions that the youth need to start asking themselves, right? What is going with the AI and nuclear wars and everyone trying to defend themselves or protect themselves? We feel like, okay, well, if we are not how do I even put it, if we are not a threat, then we are not likely to be attacked if there should be any attack. But you forget to say or to remember that there's something called collateral damage, right? And many more terms that I can use to describe this phenomenon, right? Collateral damage. We could be a country that was destroyed not for the intent of being the focal point or the reason for the war, but then just for collateral damage. I am a friend to this country, and so if I bomb you, your friend is gonna cry. You are not a nation, right? Superpower, right? I am, and my enemy is, but you're my enemy's friend, and so when I hit you, I'm indirectly attacking my enemy. That is how chess is played, right? Chess, we have the king, the queen, we have the whatever knight, we have the pawns. This country is a pawn country. As much as it wants to flex its muscles and say that, hey man, I have the weapons, I have this and that, bro, he ain't got shit, bro. I speak to people in other countries with the and I ask them how strong their military might is, and it amazes me, it baffles me. I become stupefied, flabbergasted by the kind of weaponry they have, the ammunition, things they've thought about, scientists they're investing into, engineers. We are out of that league, right? We are out of that league. And it's about time that we came to this reality, accept this reality, that we need to accept that in order for us to first find a solution, we need to know what the problem is, and we need to admit that there is a problem. The problem is lack of proper governance. We have poor governance here. Everything is expensive, exorbitantly expensive, while it actually came from here. Gold should be cheap at some places where they mine the gold. Diamond should be cheap places where they mine the diamond. Because if you want to really respect the law of supply and demand, I don't think that it should not apply everywhere else. This will be, you define mathematics, where there's an equal to, and whatever you do on the left side, you got to do on the right side too. How is it that fiat currencies are, appreciating in value, but then the real currency that makes the fiat currency worthwhile is not, being accessible to those who are actually living in those zones where it's made? There will be a lot of supply where it is made before it starts to disperse. As it disperses, it reduces in its intensity or whatever its availability. where it is made is sort of like a hotspot, right? When it comes to the internet, it's like a hotspot. When you have data and someone else doesn't have the internet, or the internet, yeah, someone else doesn't have internet, right? They say, man, can you give me a hotspot? Then you put on your hotspot, meaning that your phone is the zone, focal point of energy, the source. You can't tell me the person that is receiving has a stronger network or source than the person that is giving the network. I know that's possible because I'm someone who believes everything can be possible in this world, but then logically I want to think this way, that everything has a source, and the source will always have, how do I even say it, 1 billion times more energy, or more of what it is dispersing outside, right? It's gonna have more of that energy than anywhere else is gonna be dispersing too. It's gonna be the center of attention. Do you get what I'm saying? And so based on this analogy, I think that the world should be a better place if we're fair to each other, if we're not following this illusion of democracy, where we think that the people are the ones who have the power, and so they make the rules and they do what they want to do, and what they do is what goes. And everyone has good healthcare, everyone has free education, good education that's going to help us to actually get jobs after school. Not being disappointed and not being able to point at the finger and say, you made me do this, you made me do this. That's why we have the multi-party system. I wasn't the one in power when those promises were made, and so I could not fulfill it. That was not my manifesto. And every 4 or 8 years we have people just changing the rules, and we always start from point zero. This is the reality that we are living in, the harsh, unfortunate, real reality. But then guess what? This reality is an illusion, blindfolding you from what is actually possible, preventing you from actually seeing what we can do together, what we can achieve together when we are one strong united force. Are you listening to my voice, my people? This is not the voice of a man, this is the voice of a God, and he works through us. And so this message is out here to all of you. If you are following me and you've liked this message so far, do your best to leave a follow, and let's grow this community, right? Ciao.